Hello everyone, I'm Zahra Fatima. Today we are going to learn about carbon and its compound. Well, let us start with this. The symbol, the carbon symbol is C and its atomic number is 6 is nothing but it having a proton of 6 proton present inside the nucleus. We call this as an atomic number. When it comes about mass number, we have 6 proton plus 6 neutron. 6 plus 6, it is going to have a 12. 6 proton plus 6 neutron is going to form a mass number. Physical state is solid and its type of element is non-metal. Electronic configuration is in the first shell it is going to have a 2 electron. In the second shell it is going to have 6 electron. 4 electron. 4 plus 2 it is 6. Types of bonding, it is covalent bond. In the further slides we are going to learn why does this carbon compound do not form ionic compound. Allotropes, one is pure form. This graphite and diamond is a pure form. When it comes about fullerene, it is made up of which is an artificially made. Well, next comes about electronic configuration, how this carbon atom is placed. Say in the first shell, as I have said before, the 2 electrons are placed in, and in the second shell it have 4 electrons has been placed. Since the valence electron of a carbon is 4, because valence electron is nothing but number of electrons present in the outermost shell, we call that as a valence electron. See this carbon compound, how can it form a bond? Either this carbon atom can be form a bond with, as it donate this all the 4 electrons present in the outermost shell, it can be donated, or else extra 4 electrons can be added. Why? Because to in the second shell, we have which should have 8 electrons, then only the compound can be stable. According to octet rule, in the second shell we have a formula as 2n square. When in the first shell it's having a 2 electron, then the compound is said to be as a stable, and in the second shell it should have a 8 electron, the compound is count to be as a stable one. Either this 4 electron present will undergo sharing. This first two cases, donating and accepting occurs in ionic compound. Sharing of electrons occurs in covalent compound. Next, let us learn about here a carbon compound. Why doesn't it goes to ionic compound? Because in ionic compound is nothing but here it is a completely transformation of electron. For example, as the electronic configuration of carbon is, in the first shell it is going to have 2 electrons, in the second shell it is going to have 4 electrons. Since to form in ionic compound there is transformation of electron take place. Since in the valence electron present in the second shell, as the 4 electron should undergoes losing, it means to say that removing of electron from atom it required very high energy. Okay, since one electron if we are going to remove, we have a strong bonding of attraction will be increases. Ionization energy, first ionization is energy is lesser than the second ionization energy. When we remove one more electron, more amount of energy is required. Since all the 4 electrons removing, this is not a good idea. In fact, it required very high energy. That is not possible when it comes about extra addition of extra 4 electron to the second shell. So what happened there? See, in nucleus we have the carbon nucleus will have 6 protons. Okay, when we add extra 4 electrons, it is going to have 10 electron. This number of protons and number of neutrons, this carbon nucleus cannot hold the extra 4 electrons, so this is also not a good idea. A compound to be stable is number of protons should be equal to the number of electrons. We can say this in both the cases. Here also we have 6 protons, but the number of electrons is 2 if we removed all the 4. In the second case where the number of protons present is 6, but here 10 electron, extra 4 electrons is this also cannot hold. Hence this ionic compound, the carbon doesn't undergoes ionic compound. So what is how element forms a bond? Since how to achieve this octet rule? That is what I said here. Ionic compounds are formed by the transformation of electron. That is studied in a chapter which is metals and non-metals. Here, metal loses its electron and non-metals gains an electron. Since when a metal loses its electron, it becomes positive charge. Non-metal gaining an electron, it becomes negative charge. This is case of in metals and non-metals. When it comes about carbon, by sharing of electron, the four valence electron present in it, which can undergo sharing. Thus, in case of carbon, we are going to study in the further slides. Let us start with a chlorine molecule. Have you ever, in whenever you are in 9th standard or 8th standard, we had never learned this as a chlorine. It has always been learned as a chlorine molecule. Why is the reason is, in the first shell it is going to have 2 electron, in the second shell it is going to have 8 electron, in the third shell it is going to have 7 electron. Since it required one more electron such that this chlorine atom can become a stable one. So what does this chlorine take? It bonds with, it shares with the another chlorine atom. Since see here, when it's undergoes sharing, we can clearly observe here in a slide. We can count here as in the third shell also we can find 8 electrons by sharing the neighbor's chlorine atom. Here also this chlorine and both the chlorine atoms become stable. Hence this type of bonding, or it is called as a sharing of electron, where it is not transforming, just sharing, holding a hand like that is just a sharing which is seen in the chlorine molecule. One more example is water molecule. Here, in case of water also, since this hydrogen having one electron, it required one more electron. As I have said, according to 2n square formula, in the first shell it should have 2 electrons. Hydrogen have one electron, one more electron is required. Same for the oxygen, it have in the second shell it is going to have 6 electron. It required extra 2 electron to form an octet. What does this oxygen take us? It takes 1 electron from hydrogen, another 1 electron from the hydrogen. Here we can clearly see this. In a hydrogen we have 2 electrons. The hydrogen doublet will be fulfilled. Even the oxygen also have 8 electrons. This is how it is going to form, and this is a bond form which is called as a covalent bond, and this is an example of covalent bond. One more is CF, methane, that here also carbon having 4 valence electron. In the outermost shell it is going to take 1 electron from the hydrogen. Here in the product form we can say this, it forms a bonding here, this type of bonding which can be clearly observed. And also what is beauty of this is, the this carbon, this type of bonding here, in which this bond is a very strong bond, hence it is an intramolecular bond which is a very strong bond. And also with this, CH4 molecule is going to bond with another CH4 molecule by a catenation process. This is called as a intramolecular. Here this is a weak force. Because of this weak force, the melting point of the carbon was found to be as a lower. Next, when it comes about carbon dioxide, same concept. It required extra 4 electrons, but in case of here you can clearly see this carbon. What is carbon having 4 valence